Hello, I'm Connor Eaton, and today I want to discuss about should college athletes be paid. So, being a college athlete is definitely a full-time job, but should those athletes be getting paid? I found 4 different sites for this topic, or for the discussion, and the first one is, should college athletes be paid? The second one is college athletes getting paid. The third is 14, should college athletes be paid, pros and cons. And the fourth one is 12 primary pros and cons of paying college athletes. So a few things that are going to be discussed is, could paying college athletes help them support their families, maybe get them to stay to school longer, or is it just going to run that sports program out of money, or it could possibly lead to a student wanting to, or leading a student to put sports in front of an education just because they're getting paid. I mean, college athletes do work hard, but will paying them make them lose their will to work harder on the field or classroom? So first thing that's going to be talked about is sending money back home, or just sending the money that a college makes to their athletes. I mean, colleges bring in millions from their athletes and their sports programs. The colleges could give that money back to the athletes, or just a cut of it, so that the colleges is still keeping money, but also rewarding their athletes for their hard work and dedication to the program. So, but paying their athletes, I mean, it could put better meals on the table for their families if their families are hard on money, like they can't find it. It could help them pay their bills if, let's say, you're running 2 months behind on paying your electric bill and they turn the electricity off. Like, colleges sending their money back to their athletes to help their family for late bills, or helping for medical reasons if they can't pay for surgery that needs help. Or that needs to be done on somebody in the family. I mean, colleges do bring in a lot of money for their sports, but you have to think, at some point it could run that sports fund short of money because of how big their rosters are. And the second thing that I want to talk about is how much money athletics bring in for the schools, and could that get athletes to stay longer if they're paying them, but could it also run the program out of money? So it's been a thought of mine to think of, that I wanted to look up on and just touch up on and see where everything stood. I mean, if a college is paying their athletes, it could get them to stay longer or come back for 2 more years rather than taking off after a 2-year degree. Because I know down south there are a few schools that actually have JUCO football, and if colleges are paying athletes, let's say one of those athletes at a JUCO school down south playing football has a 2-year degree and thinking, I'm just going to take off, start my life, and forget about football because it's not going to take me anywhere right now. Let's say a school is like, I'll pay you $40,000 a year for the 2 years that you come there and stay for those 2 years to play football for my team. Like, that's one thing that a school could do to keep a kid to stay longer and benefit that kid by giving them money that school is that sports program is brought in. But doing that so many times, just throwing out money to kids, I mean, that's probably going to run that sports fund out of money at some point. And like the amount of money you have to pay to those students or those athletes, because you have to think of the roster size and the amount of money you're going to give each athlete, because it's going to have to be the same pay, because a lot of college athletes are still young, and they're going to complain if someone's getting paid more than them because they think they're doing better than them, or they benefit the team more than them, but they're still getting paid more than they are, or whatever, this or that. Though the last thing that's going to be talked about is another downfall, is that it could make education come second and sports first to them. Paying an athlete, from me, I'll say this, like, if I was getting paid at a certain extent, I'm like, why am I even thinking about school right now? I'm getting paid to just play football, and I don't even have to learn. So I'm gonna put this sport in front of my education right now, and then everything just snowballs, because a student at that point is not accountable to keep showing up for class. And then if they're not going to keep showing up for class, that may lead to them getting dropped. And then that money that you're giving them, they're not accountable for what they're spending that on. So that money can be spent in immature ways and whatever they want to spend that money on. So to conclude, my position on this is, no, they should not be getting paid. Most are already being compensated for going to school, because most students that are going to play in a sport have a full ride or something like that. So they should not be getting paid for just being an athlete. And college isn't about sports. It is about your education first. That is why they should not be getting paid. Most athletes are already getting paid 50%, if not more, of their schooling paid for. I mean, that is the difference right there between the professionals and then college sports and lower. You have to, one is you're dead set on, okay, I've got a baseball game today. I mean, I gotta get my mind right. You're dead set on the sport. But for college, it's, okay, I need to get grades first, and then I'll worry about the game later. I need to get these grades so I can get my degree, and then if baseball falls through, then I've got my degree and I can go start my life. Like, one, you're dead set on sports. The other one, you're dead set focused on education, and then the sports side comes second. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.